During a family fight, her mom screamed, "Tell him the baby might not be his." I just stared at my girlfriend. The next day my lawyer couriered her a DNA test kit. Now she's hysterically calling me, refusing to take it. So I'm 31 male, and I am, or I guess I was, with Rebecca. She's 29. We'd been together for years, lived together for 3. We were that couple. You know the one. The one our friends called Solid. We were talking about the future, marriage, the house with the big yard, all of it. 6 months ago, she told me she was pregnant, and I was over the moon. I actually started building a crib, by hand, in the garage. I'm not a woodworker, not even close. I didn't clout this primal need. I just felt this primal need to build something. For my kid, the fight that blew everything up. It wasn't even between us. It was between Rebecca and her mom Deborah. They have what you might call a volatile relationship. It's screaming, crying. Then a week later they pretend nothing ever happened. We were at their place for Sunday dinner. The argument started over. Something completely stupid. The color of the nursery. Deborah wanted beige. Rebecca wanted sage green. And from there, it escalated fast. So there we are, in the middle of the living room. Her dad's just staring at his shoes, trying to disappear. And Deborah goes, nuclear. It's what she does. She aims for maximum humiliation. And this time she aimed it at Rebecca. At the shrapnel. It hit me. She screamed. Right at her daughter. Why are you even letting him do this? You should be groveling. For his forgiveness, tell him. Go on. Tell him the baby might not be his. And the world just stopped. It was one of those movie moments. The sound drops out. All you can hear is this high-pitched ringing in your ears. I looked at Rebecca. Her face was chalk white. All the color just drained right out of it, and she didn't deny it. She just stood there, mouth slightly open, tears starting to well up in her eyes. Her dad, a guy I've always thought of as human wallpaper, he finally looks up from the floor and just mumbles, "Deborah, for God's sake." But the grenade had already gone off. Rebecca wouldn't look at me. She just turned and ran upstairs, sobbing. Deborah, after a split second of looking smug, immediately flipped the switch to victim mode. Oh, look what you all made me do. I'm just so stressed. I didn't say a word. I just picked up my jacket, walked out their front door, and drove home. To our home. The drive was a total blur. I got inside and just stood in the hallway, the silence screaming at me. The rage came. First, this hot, dizzying anger. I wanted to put my fist through a wall. I wanted to call her and scream until my throat was raw. I actually picked up my phone, my thumb hovering right over her name. But then, this strange, cold calm just washed over me, like a circuit breaker flipped in my brain. The anger was still there, but it was frozen now. A block of dry ice in my gut. Solid, manageable. I didn't drink, I didn't break a thing. I just sat on the couch and processed the data. The accusation was made. Rebecca did not deny it. Her reaction was pure guilt, not outrage. This means there is a non-zero probability that her mother's statement is true. My entire future, my money, my life, for the next 18 plus years, was based on the assumption that this child is mine, and an unverified assumption. That's a liability. The next morning I called my business lawyer. He's a sharp guy, but he cut me off about 30 seconds in. "Stop," he said. "This is not my field. You don't want me. You want a shark." I know a family law attorney. He's expensive, he's aggressive, and he doesn't waste time. Let me make a call. An hour later, I'm on a video call with the new lawyer, a guy named Edward. He had these tired eyes, but spoke with a kind of surgical precision. I laid out the situation, clinically. He didn't offer any condolences. He just offered a strategy. The first step, he said, is to establish a formal request. It shows you're serious. It took a couple of days to get the legal wording perfect, but then it was sent. A courier delivered a package to Rebecca at her parents' house. She had to sign for it. Inside was a legally admissible DNA test kit, and a letter from Edward, stating that any and all future financial support was completely contingent on a verified paternity test. It gave her 1 week to go to a designated lab and get it done. It was a formal, legal torpedo, and it was heading right for the heart of their family drama. The email confirmation that she'd signed for it hit my inbox at 11:42 a.m. on Wednesday. By 11:45 a.m., my phone was ringing. Rebecca. I let it go to voicemail. A text message came right after. "What the book is this? A DNA test? Are you insane? Call me then." Her mother, Deborah, started her barrage. Texts, calls, screeching voicemails about how I was abusing her pregnant daughter. I blocked her number. Rebecca is now calling me from blocked numbers, leaving these hysterical, sobbing voicemails. She refuses to take the test. She's saying it's an insult to our love, a disgusting betrayal of trust. The irony is so thick I could choke on it. She's actually trying to say that I'm the one who destroyed everything. Me. All for quietly asking for a simple, binary truth. And the angrier she gets about the test, the more certain I am that I need it. Update 1. So, it's been 2 weeks. A long, long 2 weeks. Thanks for all the comments, by the way. It's strange, but hearing from strangers that you're not the crazy one, it helps. Rebecca did not take the test. The deadline came and went. Instead, I got a long, rambling email. It was a masterclass in gaslighting. accusing me of being paranoid, cruel, cold-hearted. She said she was mourning the man she thought I was. She announced that she was moving her things out because she and the baby weren't welcome anymore. She was building her narrative. The righteous, wounded mother cast out by her monstrous partner, and it almost worked. Her friends started posting that vague, passive-aggressive garbage on social media. A couple of our mutual friends reached out, but you could tell they'd only heard her side of the story. The silence in this house, it was deafening. I'd walk past the nursery and just feel this hollow ache for a day, maybe two, started to seep in. I actually started to question myself. Am I the asshole here? But then I'd close my eyes, and I'd see her face right after her mom's outburst. And it wasn't outrage. It was pure, unadulterated guilt. And just like that, the logic would settle back in. This isn't about feelings anymore. This is about facts. My lawyer, Edward, was completely unfazed. She won't take the test because she knows the result. He said, plain and simple. They can't force a prenatal test in this state, so they think they have you. They'll stall until the baby is born. Get your name on the birth certificate, and then you're on the hook, fighting an uphill battle. And he was right. About a week later, a letter from her new lawyer showed up. They were refusing my offer to buy her out of the house. Their offer that I should move out and keep paying the mortgage, so the pregnant, vulnerable mother of your child could live there. We had a good laugh over that one and sent back a polite no, citing our cohabitation agreement. We were in a stalemate. They were just waiting for me to break. And I knew I couldn't just sit here and do nothing. Not knowing, it was corrosive. It was eating me alive. I needed more than a hunch. I needed leverage. So I asked myself a simple question. Where do people leave digital footprints? I started digging, quietly. I went through our shared credit card statements, going back a year. It was just months of groceries, dinners, bills, and then I saw it. A small, recurring charge. $12.99 a month for a parking garage downtown right near her old office. The weird part? The charge stopped about 6 months ago. She always took the train to work. There was absolutely no reason for her to have a monthly parking spot. Next, our phone records were still on a family plan. I wasn't looking at the content, just the logs. And there it was. Around that same time, 10 to 11 months ago, a huge spike in calls and texts to one number, a number I didn't recognize. The calls were often late at night, sometimes when I was asleep, sometimes when I was out of town on business. My heart was pounding in my chest. This was it, the ghost in the machine. A quick search of that number on social media, the lazy man's pie work, brought up a profile. A guy named Timothy, smiling, handsome, late 30s. His profile picture was of him, his wife, and their 2 kids, and his employer. Listed right there on his profile, the same marketing firm Rebecca used to work at, the same guy she used to complain about, calling him a harmless work rival, and everything just clicked into place. The affair, the timeline, the reason for all the secrecy. It was all their time-stamped undeniable data. He was married, she was my girlfriend. The whole thing was a calculated deception. The rage was gone, now it was just disgust. The plan to pass his child off as my own. That crib in the garage, it suddenly felt like a monument to my own stupidity. I spent the next few days gathering everything. Screenshots of the call logs, PDFs of the credit card statements, with the parking garage charges highlighted, a screenshot of Timothy's happy family profile. I compiled it all into one neat little file. My truth file. I didn't do anything with it. Not yet. I just held on to it. It was my insurance. It was my leverage. They thought I was stuck. They had no idea I'd just found the key to the game. Final update. It's been another month. And the game. It's over. After I'd been sitting on my truth file for about a week, her lawyer sent another letter. This one was more aggressive. They were demanding pre-birth spousal and child support. They were trying to force my hand, thinking my silence was weakness. I forwarded it to Edward. His response was simple. It's time. His reply? It was a work of art, calm, professional, and just absolutely devastating. It stated that their demand was rejected. It went on to say that we had uncovered significant evidence of infidelity during the likely period of conception. It didn't threaten. It didn't yell. It just listed cold, hard facts. It mentioned a series of communications with a Mr. Timothy last name. It mentioned unexplained financial transactions, including payments to a parking facility near his place of work. The letter concluded by making our position perfectly clear. Not one single dollar would even be considered until paternity was established. It reiterated our offer to pay for the test. And, very gently, it included a sentence reminding them that paternity fraud can have severe legal consequences. The effect was immediate. For 3 full days, nothing. Utter radio silence. Then the call started again. But the tone was completely different. The outrage was gone. It was just panic. Pure, unadulterated panic. Rebecca left a voicemail that was just her, weeping. I'm so sorry, she sobbed. Please, can we just talk? You don't understand everything. I was going to tell you. She knew she was trapped. Her whole narrative crumbled. Her bluff had been called, and she had no cards left to play. A week later, her lawyer sent a one-line email. Miss Last Name will comply with a paternity test. We arranged it, the nip test, a blood draw from her, a cheek swab from me. I paid for it all. It felt like the last check I'd ever write for her. Those 10 days of waiting were strange. I wasn't anxious anymore. I just felt resolved. I spent that time taking the crib apart. I carefully wrapped each piece in cloth and put it all in the attic. Maybe I'll use it one day. Maybe I'll burn it. The email with the results came to Edward, who forwarded it to me without comment. A secure PDF. I opened it. Probability of paternity, 0% 0, a perfect score. And I thought I'd feel this surge of victory, this rush of I told you so, but I didn't. I just felt this profound, heavy sadness. The woman I thought I loved had been a stranger. The future I was building was complete fantasy. It wasn't a triumph. It was just the final page of a very sad book. I took a screenshot of the results page and sent it to Rebecca. No text. No words, just the image. Her reply was just a flood. Rambling, incoherent texts. A mess of apologies mixed with excuses. She blamed Deborah. She blamed Timothy for seducing her. She blamed her own fear. Then came the line that proved to me she would never ever get it. I know it's not yours, but does it have to matter? I love you. We can still raise it together. Please, I don't want to do this alone. The sheer audacity, to ask me. To beg me, to knowingly raise her married lover's child. I didn't reply. I just blocked her number for the last and final time. The fallout has been messy. Her lawyer immediately accepted my original offer to buy her out of the house. From what I've pieced together, Timothy wants nothing to do with her or the baby. He's desperately trying to save his own marriage. So Rebecca is pregnant, alone, with no claim on me or my assets, and is about to get a check for her small share of a house she thought she'd be living in forever. Her family, I hear, is a complete war zone. There was no big screaming confession, no satisfying courtroom scene. My revenge wasn't about destroying her. It was about protecting myself. It was a quiet, methodical amputation. I don't really feel like I won. In this kind of thing, nobody wins. You just lose less. Last night I was cleaning out a closet and found a photo of us from a vacation a few years ago. We both look so happy. It feels like looking at two other people. For a second I felt that pang of old warmth. And then I remembered the lies hidden behind that smile, and it just turned to ash. The house is quiet now, but for the first time in months, it doesn't feel empty. It feels like peace.